mobility workout.
We are getting started with wrist circles. So for that, clasp your hands and do about 5 circles one direction and 5 circles the other direction. Then keeping your hands clasped, push your arms straight so that your palms are facing out. And lift your arms overhead as high as you can. Do that about 5 times. Moving on to arm circles. For that, stand up nice and straight and simply draw 5 big circles one way and 5 the other way. Hip circles. Place your hands on your hips. Your feet are about shoulder width apart. And again, about 5 circles one direction and 5 circles the other direction. Moving on to windmills. For that, take a wider stance than before. Your arms are straight out to your sides and you're going to hinge from your hip and touch your right foot with your left hand and left foot with your right hand. Next is the hip hinge. So for that, take your feet about shoulder width apart again. Keep your knees very slightly bent and hinge from your hip. It's very important that you keep your back straight. Knee circles. For the knee circles, your feet should be together. Place your hands on your knees and circles 5 repetitions one way and 5 the other way. And then foot circles to warm up the ankles too. Just 5 repetitions one direction and 5 the other, both sides. Cats and cows. For cats and cows, you're going to be on your hands and knees, and your wrist should be right under your shoulders and your knees right under your hips. And then start rounding your back, push the floor away from you, tuck the chin, and arch your back and look up. Next, we're going to stretch out our calves. For that, we get in a downward facing dog position. And then we're pedaling our feet, pressing one heel down and the other heel down. From there, we are moving on to alternating between the downward facing dog and the upward. From there, we're moving on to alternating between the downward facing dog and the upward facing dog. For the downward facing dog, you're going to push your hips up and heels down. They don't have to touch the floor, but just push them down as much as you can. And then switch that. And then you're going to lower your legs down, thighs down, chest up, and look up. And you're just alternating between the downward dog and the upward dog. For our ankle mobility, we start in a lunge position, so step your right leg forward and left leg back. And now keeping that right foot down and the right heel down, you're going to move that knee over the foot as much as you can. It's very important that you keep the right heel down. That's how we work the ankle mobility. And then switch sides. Next is going to be the half frog. So we're starting out by extending the right leg out to the right, and we're going to be on the left knee. Put your hands down in front of you and simply rock back and forth, loosening up the inner thighs. We're holding this position. So find your lowest position where you feel deep stretch in your inner thighs. Place your elbows down and just rest. Switching sides. This time we're gonna straighten the left leg and we're gonna be on the right knee, hands down, and then simply rocking back and forth. And we hold this position, so now we put the elbows down, sit as low as we can, and stretch out the inner thighs. Frog, we're going to put both knees down and take the legs as wide as we can. Toes are turning out and we're moving really low, so stay close to the floor. We'll push forward and then back. And you feel the stretch the most when you're pushing your butt towards your heels. And then we hold this static stretch as well. The next exercise, we're opening the chest and the middle back. So we start on our hands and knees, place our right hand on the head and touch the right elbow to the mat, and then opening the chest, looking up, looking at that right elbow, and simply moving up and down. The right hand stays on your head. Then we do the same thing this time, the straight arm. So now your right arm, take it out from your head and then extend it fully, look up, look at your hand. And when you put it back down, you're gonna put it right under that left arm. Hold, you're going to put your right shoulder down, extend both of your arms, and hold this static stretch. on the other side. This time your left hand on your head and left elbow down, left elbow up. The straight arm, this time left arm goes up, straight, and then under the right arm. To hold that static stretch, you're gonna get your left arm under the right arm, lengthen both arms, straighten both arms, and hold that static stretch. For this one, we're gonna step the right leg forward, left leg is back, and left knee is down. And we're gonna put the right hand on the right knee and gently push the knee out, opening up the hips. And you can even come to the outer side of your right foot, just moving here back and forth. Here we're going to move on to pigeon. So you're going to place your right leg down, right bent leg down, left leg straight, and you're going to lie down, chest over the shin. We do both exercises on the other side too. Left leg forward, right leg back. Place your left hand on your knee and gently push the knee out and in. And after that, we're going to finish with pigeon. We're going to place that left leg down in front of us, bent leg, and then the chest, belly over the shin, and rest here. Wrist sequence. For the wrist sequence, we start on the hands and knees. Again, your wrist should be right under the shoulders. Fingers are forward. We're just rocking the shoulders over the fingers about 10 times. Then we turn the fingers out and rock the shoulders left and right. Then we turn the fingers towards us as much as possible, and we rock backwards, so butt towards your heels. And finally, a static stretch. For this one, start on the left side. You're going to put the top of your left hand down, fingers towards you, and sit back as low as you can, and switch sides. Right hand, the top of the hand down, and sit back towards your heels, and let it stretch.